I have ascended to the highest level of T-bar rowing. I have mastered the art of the landmine row. Let me show you the way. I will do it all.
Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over some landmine rows. I'm going to be going over a couple different variations of how to set it up properly, how I've perfected it, and how you can get the most activation out of it. And also a couple cool attachments you can do that'll change up the whole thing because it does get a little stale if you're used to just the typical home workout style. So hang with me, I'm going to show you some good stuff. I'm going to start from basically step one. If you're unfamiliar with what a landmine is, it is basically this principle to where you've got something mounted to either the ground or weighed down, and then you've got a pipe of some sort that you can slide a bar in or a piece of wood, 2x4, whatever your setup is, but you've got something stationary on one end and you can push or pull on the other end, and it's basically a teeter-totter. And this setup, very simply, is just some PVC pipe. I've got a wheel caster and I just drilled a hole through it and put a bolt through that came with the wheel caster, so honestly there's no parts that you have to add. This part here I added just as a safety measure, but I don't even use it, so just pretend it's not there. So you can make something like this for like $6. So let me show you what a normal setup looks like and some tips and tricks of what I like to do. For my setup, I just have a 1-inch barbell. It's about 5 feet long. And then you can see right here, I've got a landmine attached to the bottom of my squat rack. All you do is just slide it in, just like so. And it stops at the bolt that is in the PVC pipe. And then all you gotta do is just put weight on this end. Now there's a couple things you'll run into when you've got 1 and 2 inch plates. So let me show you some things. Okay, we've got our bar right here. If you have 2-inch plates, what will happen is it'll just slide all the way through. Now, you don't want that, obviously. So what you want to do as a trick, you got a couple options. You can use one of these. Sorry, I'm like really close. Try to back up. You can use one of these. For this instance, it just threads right on and it creates something that's bigger than 2 inches, so that way it won't slide off. Or if you've got 1-inch plates, you can just slide this on like so, and then you can put this right on here as a stopper, so that way it's not going to go anywhere. Next issue you might run into with this setup specifically, when you're doing a row, for example, you can see the bar is here and it travels all the way here before it actually starts to lift the weight. Now it's not a big deal, but it feels kind of tacky. So when you're doing this, all you got to do is, if you've got one of these handy dandies, you can see there's 2 different sides to it. You want to have this side on the inside. It'll basically work as a lip to hold the plate in. And then, as you can see, like so, completely solid. There's no travel before you start to lift the weight. It just makes it feel a lot higher quality, feels a lot better. So give that a try. Got a couple more tricks for you. When you're doing just this setup, you're pretty limited as to what kind of grips you can do. I mean, you can do single arm rows, you can do double if you want to do like over under, or if you want to link your hands in together. You can do something like that. You can also come out to the side and make it more of a row like so. So you do have some variations, but I like to have more than that when you're home. So let me show you cool attachments you can do. Okay, I've stripped the bar down because if you're going to be adding any sort of attachments, you have to start and do this in the beginning. All you need is a nice large carabiner, big enough that if you have a 1-inch bar, you can just slide it right over like so. And then you can get another carabiner and attach it right onto this part right here. So that way you can have a lot more variety, a lot more handles and everything like that. Another trick for you, when you've, just for example, when you've got your weight and you've got your 45, when you've got your handle attachment, you don't want to be too crowded to where you can't even get to the handle. It's in the way fighting this weight. All you got to do is put some spacer from here to the 45, so that way you're not worried about the weight hitting you or being in the way of your handles. So let me show you something quick and easy that you can do. There's two different ways you can do this. You can use simple PVC pipe. So you've got your carabiner, attach it that way. That way you've got about 4 inches or so of room from the 45, or if you have a whole bunch of these little 2.5, 3 pounders, just stick it on like so. Because I mean, really, what do we use these tiny weights for anyways? Perfect spacer, that way. When you add this, just like that, you've got a lot more room. And then let me show you what it looks like on attaching it. If you're going to cinch it down with this, before you do that, make sure you attach either a handle to this or something to it, because that way you might get pinched and you're not allowed to do anything else for it. So what I'm gonna do is just push this forward just a little bit and let it fall like that. And then just attach this right here, so that way I've got a little bit more space. Let's just say I want to hook up this little V-bar. All you got to do, just attach like so, pull that back, and then you want to lock this into place. Now typically for most everybody, 45 pounds isn't much. So this is just a good way to set it up, so that way when you start to row, it's not pulling and having that like inch or two of no weight going up. So all you do is just add weight on top is what I'm saying. And then when you're ready to go, you're able to just pull right up, and you don't have to worry about this getting in the way or anything like that. If you don't put the weight down here, you have to put it up here, which when you add more weight, it starts to pull you forward, and then the 45 will hit the inside of your legs. So it just makes it a little uncomfortable. So if you set it here, you're gonna get the constant same spot that you're pulling from. You won't have any issues with how much weight that you put on. So it just makes it nice and easy, just like so. What's that? You wanna do some wide T-bar rows? Ah, well, let me help you with that. Just like so. Well, bam. Wider? Okie doke. Oh, you want a different handle now? Oh, well, that's easy. What? You wanted to do double single handle so it's like a V-bar row? Well, say no more. Let's go. Oh, you wanted to hook a rope up to it? Okay. Feeling a little spicy today, but hey, I ain't judging. I think you guys are starting to get the point.
I have ascended to the highest level of T-bar rowing.
Basically, anything you can hook to a carabiner and handle, you can attach onto your landmine row. So I hope that helps you guys out. Adds a lot more variety. You can also add some chain with the carabiner so you can have whatever length that you want. So if you don't want to do so much of a bent over row, you want to be a little bit more upright while you're rowing to hit the back and traps a little bit more, all you got to do is add this. So it makes it very simple, very easy. And landmines are one of the simplest things you can do that don't take up very much space and is portable. And now you can add a whole lot more variety to it, so it makes it a lot more enjoyable and a lot more fun. Another tip for you guys is when you're doing some landmine rowage and you put on some cool handles. You can see this handle adds probably about 4 inches or so of length from the bar to your hands. And a problem you'll run into is this is as low as I can go. I turn sideways, that's as much of a stretch as I'm getting. Not very high if you're trying to get parallel, or if you're taller than me, you're gonna be, or shorter, I should say shorter. So if you're not quite as tall as me, you'll be even more upright. Now a quick fix for that, you can either get some plates to stand on, or if you go to your local store, buy some of these little stool thingamabobs. These ones, I didn't really know that these were rated, but if you look on the sticker, these are rated at 300 pounds each. You can take that for what it is, but all you gotta do is set one side by side. Then you've got a huge stretch. And before we even start, I'm very parallel and got a great stretch going on. So that way, I'm not feeling limited in my landmine, so I can get as much stretch as I want. So I hope that helps you out, because that is kind of frustrating when everything's working great, except it feels like you're doing baby range of motion. So give that a try as well if you're struggling with that. So I hope that helps you out. If this video gave you some good tips, give it a like over here. And don't forget to subscribe right here. Got some more good stuff coming. And don't forget to comment down below. Give it a try, tell me what you thought. If you have any different setups that are different than mine you can't figure out, hey, shoot me a comment. I'll do the best I can do to help you out. All right, we'll see you next time on Self Built.